Hello everyone, my name is Roya and today we are doing my September wrap-up and October TBR. I almost forgot what the month was next. Okay, so I read 12 books this month. I talked about half of them in my mid-month wrap-up, and I also talked about several of them in my Rybsat wrap-up as well. That was Read Your Bookshelf Readathon, and I got a bunch of books read during that. So these are the books that I read outside of, like, in between my mid-month wrap-up and Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon. First, I read The Fifth Wave by Yancey, and this is about an alien apocalypse in which a young girl named Cassie believes herself to be most likely one of the last humans alive, and unfortunately, the aliens take human form. She's not really sure how, but they do. But that means that she can't trust anyone who she meets because they could be an alien or they could be human. So she basically has to kill them when she sees them because the chances of them being an alien is a lot more likely. And throughout this book, she's trying to save her little brother, who's only 5 years old, and she knows that he got taken by the aliens but not to be killed. And basically, this book is really awesome. It was a lot of fun to read. My one gripe with it, though, was that it was kind of obvious during some parts that it was written by a guy. And that's not usually like a gripe that I have with a book, but just, it was just really obvious at some parts for some reason. For example, there's this one part where a really random, like, dude is trying to get Cassie to have sex with him because, like, hey, you could be dead at any moment, it's an alien apocalypse, like you're a virgin, why not? And she punches him, but he keeps bugging her about it. And then she says, well, how the hell do you know I'm a virgin anyway? And he says, well, you wouldn't have punched me if you weren't. And honestly, that seems a little bit weird. Because of course she would have punched him even if she wasn't. They're trying to, like, not let the aliens kill you, and some creepy dude is like, hey, since we could be dead, like, whenever, let's have sex. And it's like, come on, really? Like, I'd punch him too. Anyone would. Anyway, this book was super fun. I could barely put it down. Next, I finally finished Acorna by McCaffrey and Margaret Ball. This was a book that I actually started at the end of July, but I just put it down when I got about halfway through because of just all the readathons and all the library books I had that kind of took precedence over books I own and all that stuff. But this book was so awesome. Basically, Acorna is an alien from outer space, and her parents get killed on their spaceship, and before they do, they release her into outer space in a little escape pod because they figure, hey, we should at least give her, like, a chance at living, even if it's really slight. And basically, these three miner guys on a mining ship find the escape pod and raise Acorna as their own. And she's only an infant when they find her, but by the time, like, a year has passed and they're finally going back to a planet, she has grown to be basically a 6-year-old. Even though she's only, like, a year old. And she has all these unicorn-like abilities, and she's super smart. And then all this weird stuff happens to them once they get planet-side, and a lot of it just has to do with Acorna's, like, weirdness. And the fact that she's so obviously not human. Just such a good book. It's full of characters, and it doesn't have the, like, really weird nitty-gritty details that some sci-fi books have, but at the same time it does have a very complex world. I do hope to do a more in-depth book review video of this later. I don't know when, but I will. And finally, I did my TBR challenge for this month, which was reread a favorite. This is Oryx and Crake, my all-time favorite non-Lord of the Rings and non-Harry Potter book. and it is amazing. This is actually my boyfriend's beautiful, pristine copy because mine is so torn up after like going on band tours and just being read like 3 times. I unfortunately did not get to The Alienist, which was my other TBR challenge for this month. But that just means I have to read it this next month, and that's really okay with me because I actually have the perfect time to read it, like the perfect time during the month to read it in. So that'll be cool. I actually did start it. I only got like 5 or 6 pages in or something, but it's good so far. And you may recall from my last wrap up, just the fact that I actually have 2 TBR jars now. I still have the TBR Pokeball for book titles that are on my shelf, but I also created a jar with TBR challenges in them that aren't book titles, they're just challenges. And so this is where the Reread a Favorite came from, and this is where the Alienist came from. I can't talk. Basically, though, at first I combined them into one jar, but then I thought, hey, what if I want to do both? Or what if I just want to do a challenge? Or what if I just want to do a book title? So, so now there are 2 separate ones. But this upcoming month is going to be really, really busy, I feel like, and I already have enough books that I really want to get read during that month. So basically what I'm gonna do is just do a challenge. I don't really want, I'm not so into doing a book title this month. Next month, though, I will do both again. So what we're gonna do is shake this up, and we're gonna pick one. I am going to pick this one. Okay. So I wrote them on cool colored pieces of paper. The most recently released book you own. Wow, that is a super easy one. Because that book is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. And I do have to read Heir of Fire, which is the one that comes before this, before I can get to this one, but I do plan on reading both of them this month. That is the September wrap-up and October TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will have another one up soon. Bye!